Coral Reef Symbiosis, Reef Lizardfish and Blue Streak Cleaner Wasp by Carolyn, Briley, Trinity, and Trevin. Reef lizard and blue streak cleaner wrest. Reef lizardfish visit small cleaner fish that eats parasites from the skin, mouth, and gills. The blue streak cleaner wrest, a doctor and dentist with stereotypical behavior. The blue streak attacks larger fish like the lizardfish.
Symbiotic relationship. The reef lizardfish gets its teeth cleaned, and the blue streak gets its food.
Symbiotic relationship. The relationship is a mutualism relationship because both creatures benefit. The lizardfish gets its teeth cleaned, and the blue streak cleaner race gets food. Interesting fact, the blue streak tickles the lizardfish that makes them come back again and again.
Coral reef symbiosis, clouds and enemy fish and sea enemies created by Raina,
Kaori, and Jack.
Cloud anemone and sea anemone relationships. They have a very bad survival strategy. They defend each other.
Symbiotic relationship. Reef animals are the master of disguise. Clownfish and anemone are a predatory team because they share food.
symbiotic relationship. They feel the effect of each other, so they relationship called mutualization.
Interesting fact. Reef animals are master of disguise, and sea anemones are no exception.
Coral reef symbiosis. Giant clams and xanthuli. By Naheem
Kamaya,
Isaac
London,
Bailey.
and Bailey.
Giant clams and zoothali. Giant clams are not man-eaters. Giant clams are 3 feet across and weigh more than 200 pounds. Zoothali use energy from sunlight to get food, and this is called symbiosis. Zoothali find most of 3 foods in shallow water. Most of their foods.
Symbiotic relationships. The zoothali are microscopic algae that live within the tissues of a variety of
host animals, including giant clams. They are filter feeders that strain tiny food particles from the water.
Symbiotic relationship. Their relationship is conditionalism. The great clam is not harmed by the filter feeding. Let's check.
Interesting facts. Clams weigh more than 200 pounds. The zooxanthellae get their energy from sunlight.
Coral Reef Symbiosis, Giant Triton and Hermit Crab by Kelsey,
Dakota.
Thomas, and Tavian. Pass it on to Tavian.
Thank you, Kelsey. Giant tritons and hermit crabs. Giant tritons and the hermit crab are coral reef animals. Hermit crabs eat the leftover body of a giant tritons that are dead. We will pass it on to Thomas.
Thank you, Tavian. Symbolic relationships. When a giant triton dies, a hermit crab moves in its shell. We'll pass it on to Lakota.
Thank you, Thomas.
That's
symbolic relationships. Their relationships is called Symbiosis. Caused instead, it will quickly be claimed by a hermit crab, which cannot make a shell of its own protection. Pass it on to Kelsey. Interesting fact. When a giant triton dies, its tissue will likely be consumed by a group of detritivores, or organisms, evolved to eat dead and decaying matter.
Coral Reef Symbiosis, Sponge Crab and Sea Sponge by
Hannah,
Orid,
Cameron, and Mia. Sponge crab and sea sponge. Sponge crab exploit this defense by carrying live sea sponges on their backs. Symbiotic relationships. The sponge crab benefits by sponge crab gets protected. Sea sponge does not have to fight for space. Animals won't get eaten.
Symbiotic relationship. Their relationship is called multilism. Both creatures have benefits. The sea sponge does not have to fight for space.
Interesting facts. Many sea sponges have evolved chemical weaponry. Crabs avoid predators by carrying a disguise with them at all times.
Coral Reef Symbiosis, the manta ray and remora, created by Kate,
Kylie,
Denagis,
and Gracie.
Manta ray and remora. A manta ray is one of the largest living fish. It can reach up to 20 feet in width and weigh up to 20 tons. There are filter feeders, and their head flaps and funnel tiny fish into their mouths, and whatever morsels escape might be wasted. A fast predator, the remora, leads behind a trail of food. Remora's streamlined shape allows them to hitchhike on other hosts without slowing them down.
Symbiotic relationships. Remoras eat tiny morals that Manta leaves behind.
Once the manta ray eats the remora or suckerfish gets a meal of crumbs.
The manta ray is not affected except the food, but the remora not only cleans the mess, but gets a great meal.
Symbiotic relationships. This relationship is only the remora is affected. After the manta ray eats, the remora gets a meal of crumbs and molds. Yes, the manta ray does get a meal, but the remora makes it clean.
Fun facts. Remoras can hitchhike on other hosts without slowing them down.
Manta rays live in large